Hello students, welcome to my channel. Thank you for everyone those who subscribe my channel. Please share this video so that some people will be benefited. So coming to the point, today's topic is conversion of galvanometer into ammeter. Familiar topic only. Suppose I am taking one galvanometer, I want to change into ammeter. For that I need to connect one resistor which is in parallel and call it as a shunt resistance. Okay. In this I am sending suppose I amount of current. The galvanometer current receives Ig. For that Ig itself it shows the full scale of deflection. Suppose if you see the galvanometer, we can see the full scale deflection. So in this full scale deflection, the maximum amount it can take is Ig. And we need to use very less resistance connected parallel, which is called as a shunt resistance. In this, the remaining amount of current I minus Ic will go into the shunt resistance. When they are connected in parallel, potential is same. So IgG potential drop is equal to I minus Iz into S. So S is equal to Izz by I minus Iz. By this formula we can find out the shunt resistance. Suppose if you see one example, sometimes they will give the current in the form of divisions per current, divisions per, like that they will give. Suppose the galvanometer is getting some current, okay, that current is, suppose if they have given, it is reduced to 50 to 20 divisions, that is the 50 is the main current and the galvanometer shows 20 deflection, so 20I, that is the main current is 50I and the galvanometer receives 20I. So what is the 50 to 20 is nothing but the 50 is the main current and the 20 is the galvanometer current. So the shunt will receive how much of current? 30I. Okay, and shunt also they have given 12 ohms. What do you have to find out? We need to find out what is galvanometer resistance. What is here? Galvanometer resistance. So they will ask here, the deflections in the galvanometer is reduced from 50 to 20. Otherwise the divisions also we can say. So what is 50 we can take? That is the main current 50I. So that it reduced to 20I. So remaining 30I where it went? It went to the shunt resistance. Okay. And now we need to find out by using same formula to find out the Z. So 20I into G is equal to 12 into 30I. So when you solve this one, you will get the 18 ohms is the galvanometer resistance. Okay, sometimes they will not give the shunt resistance. This problem is regarding G, they didn't give. Okay, next problem is regarding, they will give Z, but we need to find out the S. For that, they will give percentage form. That means 10% of main current. Abhyas ab question. The 10% of the main current goes into the galvanometer. So that the galvanometer is having resistance of 99 ohms. So that how much shunt is required? They are asking. So what is the clue they have given here? The clue is the main current in that 10% is going into the galvanometer. So that is Iz is equal to 10% of I. That is 1 by 10 of I. And we need to use S. So Izz by I minus Iz. So what is Iz? 1 by 10I. 1 by 10I into Z 99. So G is 99 ohms divided by I minus again 1 by 10 into I. So when you solve this one, 10 cancel, you will get 11 ohms. 11 ohms. If you want, you can take, sometimes they give 20 percentage of main current. For that we need to use 20 by 100, that is 1 by 5. 1 by 5. So 1 by 5 now you can take this one n. So if you want to find out S, G by n minus 1. What is the formula here? Shortcut formula. S is equal to G by n minus 1. That is 20 percentage they will give. In that 20 by 100. So 1 by 5. N is nothing but 5. So G they will give. G by 5 minus 1. G by 4. Otherwise we can take this problem. S is equal to G how much? 99 by n minus 1. What is n here? 1 by n. That is, this is called n. So 10 minus 9. 9. 10 minus 1. So 10 minus 1, 9. So that is, you will get the 11 ohms. So this formula is used to find out the percentage problems. They will give the G. Sometimes without G also they will give G by 4, 4G. Something you will get the answer in the form of G if they don't give the G. So like this we can solve galvanometer into ammeter. Next one we'll go for galvanometer into voltmeter. This voltmeter, suppose if you see ammeter is having we can take ideal ammeter, it's having zero resistance. If you take ideal voltmeter, it's having infinite resistance. Already you studied in your lower classes. And voltmeter. So voltmeter we need to connect one resistance parallel so that the galvanometer shows the IC current, it gets the IC current, and now this is called, we can take high resistance. Previously very small resistance, now you have to take high resistance. So that what is the total resistance for this one? We need to take R plus Z. And the potential, that is the total potential is given by the drop of this one. That is the IgG plus IGR. From this we can find out V minus IgG is equal to IGR. So R is equal to, divide this one, V by Ig minus G. This is a formula to find out the resistance which is connected in series. Previously shunt, now we can't call it as a shunt. It's a higher resistance so that it is connected in parallel also. Okay, shunt is nothing but it's a small resistance. And now using this actually conversion of ammeter, galvanometer to voltmeter, galvanometer to ammeter. But some problems are there, 1 to 1, that is voltmeter to ammeter, otherwise ammeter to voltmeter, like that. That means, suppose, very good example, a 25 millivolts voltmeter is to be converted into ammeter. That means voltmeter I want to change into ammeter. Previously galvanometer to voltmeter, galvanometer to ammeter, but now voltmeter to ammeter. So we can change voltmeter to ammeter, and now we need to use a formula for that. How much shunt is required? They are asking, that is a question. How much shunt is required? Because ammeter now we need a shunting. Okay, they have given this answer. What this answer they have given? V they have given. How much? This answer they have given. Okay, so that we need to find out IgG by I minus Ig. And ammeter also they have given. One more condition I forgot. Ammeter also they have given, that is 25 amperes. That means 25 millivolts voltmeter I want to convert into 25 ampere ammeter. For that how much shunt is required? That is a question. Okay. S is equal to, that is we need to find out actually R is equal to V is equal to ICR. From this we can take R is equal to V by Iz. Okay, so S is equal to, we can take Iz we need to find out actually, not R. So Ig is equal to V by R. R is nothing but here galvanometer resistance. We need to take this one. Okay, so IgG we have to take so that we can write G. From this Ig we can calculate. So in the place of Ig you substitute this one. So V by Ig, what is V? What is V? 25 millivolts. 25 into 10 to the power of minus 3 by G. What is this one? Ig we need to get from this formula, IgG. IGG we need to get this one, and into G by, what is this one, I minus IG, that is a voltmeter, sorry, ammeter current, 25. So cancel GG, cancel 25 cancel, and you will get a 10 power minus 3 ohm. That means if you connect by using very low resistance parallel to this combination of voltmeter, 25 millivolts of voltmeter, it will convert into ammeter. Okay, so like this we can able to convert from voltmeter to ammeter and ammeter to voltmeter, and by using these formulas we can find out galvanometer to voltmeter and galvanometer to ammeter. Coming to the next topic, we'll go for internal resistance of a cell. So up to now we are discussing about galvanometer, ammeter, all these things. Now we'll go for internal resistance of a cell. So cell also contains some resistance because of electrolyte present in the cell. In that electrolyte, movement of ions will be there, positive ions and negative ions. That restriction of that positive ions and negative ions will be there. That restriction offered by the cell because of electrolyte, because of that chemical. So that is called internal resistance of a cell. So that electrolyte, if you see, it depends upon three factors. First one is viscosity, we'll study in fluid mechanics, and electrolyte density also we need to consider, and it needs temperature. These three factors determines this internal resistance of a cell because of these electrolyte conditions. And now the electrolyte, electrolyte is contains electrodes like positive electrode, negative electrode. So that the distance between the two electrodes, okay, and the area of the plates, that is one more factor will affect the internal resistance, that is area of the plates and distance between the plates. Okay, so we'll go for detail in this one. If you connect a resistor, external resistor of R, when you connect with one cell which is having EMF E and internal resistance R, once if it goes in this, current I will go, and in this potential drop will come. So V is equal to IR, that is a potential drop, that is the total current, that is the I is equal to, if you want to find out, E by external resistance and internal resistance. So I is equal to E by R plus R is the current passing in that circuit. And now second one is how much potential developed in the resistor. V is equal to IR. How much potential developed inside the cell. V is equal to IR. V is equal to IR. And what is the power dissipation? That is, what is the power dissipation? We can say power, how much power is dissipated, that is P power dissipated is equal to I square R, power formula, I square R. For that, what is I? E by R plus R into R. So like this we can find out power dissipation. But when this power dissipation becomes maximum, that is a question they are asking. The power dissipation maximum when it will comes now, when internal resistance and the external resistance, both of them are equal, that is R is equal to R. So many problems are there in the previous year question papers, you can observe that one. Just they will ask to get a maximum power, we can call it as a maximum power transfer theorem also, like this power transfer theorem. For that, nothing, theorem is just internal resistance is equal to external resistance. At that time, what happens for this one? So PD is equal to E square by, in the place of R, you need to take small r. That is R plus R into R. So we can take a whole square. So in this also we can take small r. And E square by 4R square into R. So E square by 4R, that is a power dissipation maximum. This is power dissipation, E by R plus R whole square into R, and this is power maximum formula. Okay, by this we can find out certain factors like this. Next, going to the series cells and cells in series and cells in parallel. Cells in series and cells in parallel. That problem is also they're asking. Okay, some, because actually we will not do that one, we will do in a different format also. Already I have given some shortcuts. Some people, those who are familiar in this cells series and parallel, you can solve with this one. Okay, cells in series, cells in parallel. Okay, cells in series, suppose I am taking a cells like this, negative is connected to positive, that is opposite terminal should be connected, and this is called cells in series, and this is connected to one external resistance of R. What is the E equivalent for this one? If I use all the cells of same EMF, I have to use NE. E equivalent is the total EMF. What is because everything is having internal resistance of R, equal internal resistance, because equal cells, you will get NR. So that how much current will go in this? NE by R plus, your series na, R plus NR. And again, what is the power dissipation? I square R, same like this, NE by R plus NR, R plus NR square into R. Now if you take power maximum, like previous case, power maximum in that is internal resistance R is equal to NR, that is a condition here, R is equal to NR, so that you will get E square by 4R into N, E square by 4R into N, that is a power maximum in this series. Calculate, you can just, if you keep this one, you will get that only answer. Okay, and now you will get, suppose cells in parallel, suppose that is connected to the one external resistance. In this E equivalent is E only, that is 4 volts, 4 volts, 4 volts, no, 4 volts only, because there is no, because it's a parallel common voltage. And R equivalent, because resistance parallel, so R by N will come, R by N, so that current you will get E by R plus R by N, R plus NR, here R plus R by N. Here power dissipation I square R, so this term into R will come, this term square into R will come. And power dissipation maximum, only question here, the power dissipation maximum, again you will get the same quantity, just do this one by keeping R is equal to R by N. Here R is equal to NR, if you keep, you will get this answer. And if you keep R is equal to R by N, you have to solve yourself, and you will get E by 4R, E square by 4R into N. So that the power dissipation maximum in this series and parallel are same, so 1:1, that is the answer. Okay, and mixing group, that one fish problem will be there in that Ames question. If you see in your old question papers, so using cell series and parallel only we can solve that problem, Ailes problem, that is, you can start with the fish problem and Ailes problem. Okay, mixed group of cells, n number of cells of equal EMF are connected in, n number of cells are equal EMF connected in m number of rows. So m rows will be there. N number of equals are connected in m rows, and that is connected with the external resistor. Again, like this we can solve. E equivalent you will get here, because of parallel you will not get a, series only you will get a, so this is the equivalent EMF. And R equivalent you will get a N is the series, so NR by M, because this is R by M will come parallel, so NR is already series. And what is I will come here? I is equal to NE by R plus R by N. Just instead of this one I have taken M. And what is the power dissipation maximum? Power dissipation maximum, you will get the same formula, but here in the place of N you will get Mn. Mn by E square by 4R. Okay.